Alright, guys. What's going on? I'm back. Second time I've had to make this video because I had a phone call. So it wasn't the phone's fault this time, but yeah, every time I get a phone call, it cuts off the video. Boy, that pisses me off. I had about 8 minutes of content for you guys, and now I'm going to do it all over. So, we are going to talk a little bit more about fuel pumps. I know I just put on a video about fuel pump talk. But this phone, like I say, doesn't have very much memory to it, so I'm more watching on the video and stuff because I hate that being cut off of a video. I imagine you guys do too. But I have this Kia fuel pump taken apart, and I want to tell y'all something else what mechanic shops do. They'll tell you that you have to buy the entire fuel pump. Now, this fuel pump here was $239 for the whole assembly. Okay? 2008 Kia Rio. $238 for this whole assembly. Now, this fuel pump here is really easy to take out, and every mechanic knows how to take these out. I didn't really have to take this front part out, but it's easier to get this little pigtail wire that's right here. Plugs into there. You have to pop this out, and then this clips to the bottom. I will have a video tomorrow putting this back together when the part comes in, so y'all get an idea how this works. But this right here pops off the bottom. This fuel pump is attached to that, and it just pulls right out. I will have a video tomorrow on how to install it. Sorry I don't have one to take it apart, but y'all get the idea tomorrow. Now, this fuel pump with a new filter is $60. $60. So, when you take and get your fuel pump replaced, ask the mechanic if you can just buy the pump and not the assembly. $239 for this pump. $60 or for the assembly and the pump included. Just the pump was $60. So it saves roughly by taxes and everything. That's saving you $180 for parts. $180 plus tax for the parts. That saves you just by replacing the fuel pump and not the fuel pump assembly. This is all plastic. None of it breaks. You can take it off easy. None of these tabs break. They're on there good and solid. They sell the filters also. I'm getting a new filter with this pump. $60 compared to $239. It doesn't take that long to take these apart. And even if the mechanic charges you another $20 to do this, and if he charges you more, take your car to another mechanic. I don't care how much you trust that guy. If he charges you more than $20 to spend 5 minutes taking this pump out of the housing, putting a new pump in, then he's a crook. It don't take that long. $20 at the minimum to put that pump into this housing. So yes, when mechanic says that your fuel pump is out, ask them, can I just buy the fuel pump? Now I want to tell you something else. If the guy says, no, you have to buy this and a whole assembly, ask him who his parts provider is. Every mechanic should tell you who their parts provider is, because a lot of people's picky. I personally do not like Napa parts. I don't. We got a Napa here. I've dealt with Napa before. I don't really like Napa parts, and I don't really like O'Reilly's parts neither. I think they're expensive. Now, a mechanic should be able to tell you who he's getting the parts from. If he tells you and stuff like that who he's getting the parts from, say okay. If he doesn't tell you who he's getting the parts from, take your car to another mechanic shop. The mechanic should always tell you where he's getting the parts from. Now, you always gonna have to expect a markup. Now, don't call the auto parts store and realize that they're charging you, 10, $20 markup on the parts. Now, if it's over $10 to $20 markup on each part and less, then it's okay. I understand the markup on the parts. You guys spend your time, you got to pay employees and everything to call them for the parts and everything. I understand that there needs to be a markup on the parts. But it doesn't need to be outrageous. $20 markup for parts should be the top. I mean, the top of what they should charge for a markup on parts, and that depends on what part it is. Like this here's a $60 part. I consider a $5 markup being good on this part just because, well, here I usually charge closer to 10 if I have to go get it because the auto parts store I deal with is a little far away. Not a lot far, but a little far. So on this $60 pump, I probably will charge $70 for it just because I have to drive about 7 miles to get it and 7 miles back, which is very cheap compared to what a lot of mechanic shops will charge you to drive 7 miles. So you really want to check on that. Now, don't call up and stuff like that, and let's say the mechanic shop is charging you $230 for the part, and you call up and the part's $200. Okay, that's why you need to ask them who their parts provider is. If the parts provider's close, then you might want to bitch about the parts markup. If the parts are further away, then you might not want to, bitch about the parts markup. It's up to you to figure out where their parts company is, how far it is, and how good quality parts that they're putting in your vehicle. Now, back to this fuel pump here. Like I said, $239 is what a mechanic shop would charge plus tax and markup. So you're looking at $300 is what a mechanic shop would charge you without labor for this fuel pump, this Kia Rio fuel pump, which you can get just the fuel pump and the filter for $60. Going that way, you save $240 just for the part. And the mechanic should not charge you no more than $20 to change that fuel pump out. It's not that hard. And they should tell you that you can do that. But, like I said, a lot of mechanic shops are greedy, so they want you to buy the whole thing. A lot of people are poor these days. They don't got the money for that. So what do? You think that you're going to spend $600-700 into your car, for this fuel pump, and you don't got the money for it, and it winds up being parked behind your house where you can actually have it fixed with a $60 pump. Y'all get what I'm saying? And, yeah, you always want to check that. And another thing, ask the mechanic what parts provider. He should tell you where he gets his parts from. I mean, that's just good business. I tell everybody I get my parts at Therapies Automotive in Honor. If you want me to get the parts somewhere else, then that is your prerogative, but it will be extra, for gas. Not for labor, for gas. But, like I say, I basically do this for a hobby, but I don't like seeing people get ripped off. This car is basically mine. Another thing of it is, if the mechanic tells you that you cannot get the fuel pump separate from the rest of it, from the fuel pump housing, if he tells you, oh, it's all one piece, the fuel pump housing is all one assembly, this is how you buy it, do not believe him. Ask him what parts provider he goes to. When he tells you that, say, okay, let me think on it. Don't say that you're going to call him or stuff like that. You don't want to ever tick the damn mechanic off. Just say that you want to call the parts provider. That's when you know for a fact it is your fuel pump that's out. Like I said, if it's one of these type, you want to check your hoses, check the lines, and check that out. Because you could buy those too. Okay? So, call his parts provider and ask them, just like I did this one. They'll tell you, you'll call them up, tell them the make and model of your car. They'll say, okay, we got the fuel pump housing for $230. Say, okay, can I just buy the pump. And that's what I asked. Can I just buy the pump? And he said, Jack at Therapies, there in Honor, great guy. He said, yes, I can just buy the pump. He looks it up. I can get the pump, filter, $60. See that? And now if I was dealing in a mechanic shop, this right here would probably be $300 because of the markup. And this fuel pump would still be, $60 counting $10 markup. I figured that depending on how far their part store is. So you're looking at $70 for this, $300 for this at a mechanic shop. So you're still saving a big difference. I mean, you're still saving $230 to $240 just by doing this. So this is more fuel pump talk. I am getting this fuel pump tomorrow. I will show y'all how easy it is to put this all back together. It is not hard, and how much money you save is ridiculous. That's exactly what these hoses right here. These hoses break. This fuel pump here could cost you, I think this one here costs $250 if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. I'm not sure. We did get it online, so it was a little bit cheaper. I can't remember everything. But if it was one of these hoses broke, I could have fixed this fuel pump for probably $50, put it back in, and saved y'all some money. But in this case, it was actually the pump. But this unit here was, you actually can't just buy the pump. I don't know why. This one here, you can. So you just want a cake. Sorry the videos is a little shaky. It's cold out here. So I'm going to get off of here. I got a buddy of mine needs help with some drive shaft issues. I'm going to help him out when he gets here. And, yeah, I'm going to try to put at least 5 videos on here today. I got something I'm going to be recording here a little bit that I'm going to be doing to my truck. And, yeah, that's a lot of money. $230, I think it was $239 plus tax for the whole assembly, or just $60 for the pump and the filter. All this is just a housing. That's all this is. As long as none of the plastic broke, you're good. But be sure and do your research and don't get scammed from these mechanic shops. A lot of these people get by with this. You can get by with a lot cheaper as long as you use your noggin. Kind of weird that light bulb is sitting there. It was up there. Huh. But yeah. A little bit more fuel pump talk. Give me a thumbs up and a like. And like I say, guys, just do your research. Alright, I'll catch you on the next video. Catch you on the flip side.